Welcome, precious hearts, to this incredibly powerful and awesome activity of light. And I don't feel in my heart that I can begin this activity without expressing through my grandest love how grateful I am for you volunteering to be born and volunteering to assist with this process. This is a cosmic, very complex event that's taking place, but it's something each and every one of us have been preparing for lifetimes to do. Some of this information that you're going to receive, which is going to be some background so we can all be on the same page, may seem new to you, but it is not. The beings of light said no one is tuning in on this live activity or will be watching this video on YouTube that hasn't been preparing for lifetimes to fulfill this facet of the divine plan. So if the new information seems to conflict with what you're familiar with, don't let that distract you from being that being of light and that instrument of God that you have volunteered to be. Just allow yourself to accept this as food for thought, knowing that your I am presence will help you filter away anything that doesn't apply to you and anything that would conflict with your facet of the divine plan at this moment. This special day is a November 11th, and November is 11th month, and of course today is the 11th day. But 2023 is a 7 numerically when we add that together. And 11, 11, and 7 is a 29, which is also an 11. So this frequency of vibration that we are experiencing today is reverberating through all creation. And we are receiving the assistance of not only our galaxy and the legions of light and solar logos for Earth's lineage, but we are receiving support from our Father, Mother, God, and for the legions of light throughout infinity. To share with you the beginning and some of the background that has brought us to this point is so that we will be able to begin barely grasping the magnitude of what is happening. And I know that there are a lot of things in the outer world that are manifesting, that are being drawn to our attention, that are horrific and challenging and causing incredible pain. But the beings of light want us to understand and comprehend that those initiating the chaos in the outer world are a minuscule fraction of the 8 billion sons and daughters of God evolving on this planet. But the events that they have initiated that are creating so much pain have inspired the rest of humanity, billions of souls on this planet, to be invoking the love of God, the peace of God, and the oneness of God. The eclipse series that we just experienced in October was focused through all creation on this planet to initiate and bring to the fore of our consciousness the remembrance of the oneness of all life, reverence for all life, and the consciousness that there is no such thing as separation, meaning every thought, feeling, word, or action we express in the outer world is affecting every particle and wave of life throughout the whole of creation. This activity of light, during which we are taking this quantum shift and transmuting the negativity that's associated with the psychic astral realm, the veil of Maya, that has held us encapsulated in lower frequencies, thus preventing us from moving forward in the light, is being initiated by the I am presence of every awakening person on this planet, working with the legions of light throughout infinity. This activity of light today is reflecting into the outer world the polarity of the axis of the earth. The beings of light that are responsible for our axis is the cosmic being known as Polaris, that holds the focus of the axis of Mother Earth from the North Pole. His divine complement is Lady Magnus, who holds the polarity from the South Pole for Mother Earth. So just to quickly have a brief understanding of what has brought us to this point, I want to explain just the logistics that the being of light have asked me to reiterate for this unique activity of light today. Our physical sun is called the solar logos from our physical sun, our Helios and Vesta, and they are responsible for 12 planets. And our physical sun and those 12 planets belong to a central sun. And that is the area that we are going to focus on most today, because that is where the Earth is located. The solar logos from our central sun are Alpha and Omega, and they are responsible for 12 suns, one of them including Helios and Vesta. And each of those 12 suns are responsible for 12 planets, just like Helios and Vesta are. So this sacred geometry, the power of the 12 times 12, is the sacred geometry that reflects through our solar system, our universe, our galaxies, and suns beyond suns. And there are many collective sacred geometric codes and systems of worlds that are different than ours and beyond ours in the trillions and trillions of galaxies in the universe. But we're going to focus on ours. And the reason that we are receiving so much assistance is because the beings of light have said the Earth is experiencing an experiment that has never before been attempted in any system of worlds. And never has a planet that's fallen to this depth of separation and duality been given an opportunity to move forward through two-dimensional shifts in such a short period of time. And the reason we are being given the opportunity for this unique experiment is because the Earth got into this mess and this depth of separation and duality through the greatest act of love and compassion that the sons and daughters of God have ever rendered to any other part of life. And that's what I want to briefly explain to you is how that occurred. Alpha and Omega created our 12 suns, and each of our suns created 12 planets. So there are 144. This is where the sacred geometry of the power of the 12 times 12 that we keep hearing about, the 144,000s or the 144 activities of light, the 12 solar aspects of deity, and on, reflecting our sacred geometry in our solar system. You may have heard and understand that we're in the midst of what is called the shift of the ages. And even though we don't understand the time and space continuums outside of the frequencies of the fourth and third dimension, because time and space don't exist beyond the third and fourth dimension, we are actually, the Earth and this system of worlds is actually over 4 billion years old. And we've gone through experience and evolutionary step and myriad shifts of the ages until we reached the middle of our evolutionary process, which was known as the fourth root race, the evolution of the fourth root race. And just briefly, we have 7 root races in our system of worlds. This is from the system of Alpha and Omega. Each one has 7 root sub-races. So what happens in the beginning, and we don't need to worry about all of that, and I want to reiterate that this is being recorded and will be available immediately after this activity of light. So you can review it if you want more specifics. So don't worry about remembering all of it at this time. But what happens in the evolution of any system of worlds is that the central sun draws forth all of the sons and daughters of God, all of the spirit sparks that are going to embody and evolve in that system of worlds. So Alpha and Omega magnetized all of the sons and daughters of God that are going to evolve on the 144 planets throughout this system of worlds as we evolve back to the heart of God. And in our case, those root races were divided into 7 root races and 7 sub-races. So what happens is that on all 144 planets, the first root race of the first sub-race of the first root race embodies on all 144 planets, goes through all of their evolutionary, ascends back to the heart of God, and then the second sub-race of the first root race embodies on all the planet. So you can tell that that will take eons of time in our time and space continuum. In the middle of the evolution of the fourth root race and the fourth sub-race of the fourth root race, we reach that cosmic moment that was referred to as the shift of the ages. And what the shift of the ages is, it's a moment in time that cycles within cycles within cycles throughout the whole of creation dovetail into the rhythmic momentum of the heartbeat of our Father, Mother, God. And this happens once every so many millions of years. And during that cosmic moment, our Father, Mother, God inbreathe all of the planets and the suns and the central sun in our system and all other system of worlds above that, inbreathes all creation up the spiral of evolution to the next octave of our learning experience. What happened in the middle of the fourth root race and the fourth sub-race was that we reached the cosmic moment of the shift of the ages. And what that meant for our solar system is that Alpha and Omega, Helios and Vesta, and the other 11 suns and all 144 planets would be breathed up the spiral of evolution into the fourth dimension. And then we would begin experiencing the higher frequencies of the fourth dimension. But what happens with that, if there are any souls that have misqualified their gift of life and are not vibrating at a high enough frequency to be able to withstand those higher vibrations, they cannot make it through the shift of the ages. And that isn't a punishment. That's just if they tried to move into the fourth dimension at the lower discordant frequency that they were evolving in, they would be evaporated and they wouldn't make it. So they would be left behind. But what happens with that is that they are then returned to the central sun. Now, this is not a punishment. This is through their own free will choices. They have chosen to use their precious gift of life in ways that are not based in love. And when souls are left behind in this way, these aren't souls that are just trying and making mistakes, because God is infinitely powerful and we receive so much assistance. This is heavy duty negative energy that are sticking their heels in the ground, refusing to move forward in the light, and deliberately trying to oppose the light. And so what happens is those sons and daughters of God and those planets and parts of the elemental kingdom are returned to the central sun, and nothing is ever lost, but they are etherealized back into unformed primal light substance, and then use their particles and subatomic particles and waves can be gathered up and used for new systems of world. What the beings of light told us is that that is the most tragic thing that can ever happen to a son or daughter of God. And it is referred to as the second death. And the second death is mentioned in the Bible, but it doesn't really explain the magnitude of what that means. So when we reach that moment of our ascension into the fourth dimension for our solar system, the earth was still vibrating according to the beings of light in the pristine Garden of Eden state of consciousness. We had not experienced any reflection of the fall, and we were still adding to the light of the world, expanding the borders of the kingdom of heaven through our thoughts, words, actions, and feelings. And we are being told that the evolutions of Earth became aware that on some of the other 143 planets in our system, there were souls that were not going to be able to make it through the shift of the ages and were going to be left behind. And the evolutions of Earth went to Alpha and Omega and asked if we could be held in the embrace of the third dimension for a while, and to have those laggard souls, as they were referred to, transferred to the inner realms of Earth. And the Earth evolutions volunteered to bring those souls through the natural process of birth into the inner plane, with the physical plane of Earth, with the divine intent of being able to help them love themselves back into light and awaken to the perfection of their I am presence and their reality as sons and daughters of God, so that they would not have to experience the second death. The beings of light have said, never in the whole of creation have the sons and daughters of God offered that level of compassion and love to their sisters and brothers. And for that reason, even though nobody knew because of our gift of free will if we were going to be able to pull that off or not, Alpha and Omega got permission from our Father, Mother God to allow this unique experiment. And with a cosmic tone, all 143 planets in our system, the laggard souls that were not going to make it, were transferred to the inner planes of Earth. The rest of the evolutions of the system of Alpha and Omega ascended into the fourth dimension, and the Earth alone was held in the third dimension. We were told that as those souls began embodying on Earth through the vehicles of the sons and daughters of God on Earth, when they were infants and small, we were able to help them, and gradually through the violet flame and other activities, help them learn to transmute and begin to awaken. But when they got older into their adulthood and their heavy-duty karmic liabilities, which the earth had no concept of and had never experienced, began being released through them. This created such a frequency of discord and confusion through their human miscreations that it overwhelmed the evolutions of Earth. And the sons and daughters of God became confused and began experimenting with that discordant energy and began misqualifying some of their thoughts and feelings and not basing them in love. This was the initial impulse of what is referred to as us partaking of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And because that created such chaos, that resulted in what we refer to as the fall from grace. And that discordant energy, that misqualified energy, cannot return to the heart of God. It comes back into the atmosphere of Earth through our thoughts and feelings. And we are responsible for transmuting it back into light. And because of our lack of awareness and understanding at that time, we did not know how to transmute that energy. So it began accumulating around the earth in what we refer to as the veil of Maya. And this is heavy, discordant energy. It's hatred, it's greed, it's all of the imbalances of energy, corruption, anything that is not reflecting heaven on earth is what had accumulated around the axis of the earth and around Mother Earth. This, when people talk about passing through the dark tunnel, when they go through near-death experiences, they're passing through the psychic astral realm. We are being told by the beings of light that that energy got so dense and so heavy that it actually prevented Polaris and Magnus from sustaining the axis of the earth in the frequency of the political polar of light that is reflecting as the axis. They always have held the magnetic polar light, solar light frequencies for our axis. But the physical axis of Earth actually bent with the weight. That's why our axis, we look at it and it seems like it's bent. And the Earth fell off of the spiral of evolution onto what the beings of light have termed the karmic wheel of karma. This wheel of karma became a trap that we couldn't move up the spiral of evolution, and we couldn't move forward and we couldn't move backward. For eons of time, we have been trapped on the wheel of karma. But no one in our solar system, all of the 143 planets in our solar system, know that we are in this mess because we took on their loved ones and their laggard souls when they moved into the fourth dimension. And they know that they're partly responsible because of that for helping us and for sustaining us. So they have been sustaining us and working with us all of these eons of time. And so have all of the rest of the beings of light throughout creation. And the beings of light said, this one tiny planet, the rest of the universe has been waiting for this cosmic moment, for Earth to catch up, for this cosmic moment. and the rest of the universe has been sustaining us, and for all of these eons of time have been invoking the light and assisting us in any way they could. They can't do this for us. We, through our misunderstanding and through the laggard souls, created the misqualified energy. So we alone are responsible for transmuting it back into light. But the beings of light have said that when we complete this ascension process, which we are going to, this process of transmuting from the depths of separation into the highest frequencies of the fifth dimension will be recorded in the halls of learning in the inner realms, our total experience. And they said that means that once we complete this, never again will the sons and daughters of God throughout the whole of creation ever have to make that choice of loving their sisters and brothers into light without understanding what was involved in that. And they wouldn't do it in an innocent, holy way that we did, not knowing that the energy they were going to be bringing was truly beyond our ability to deal with at that time. But not even our Father, Mother, God, and the company of heaven knew that until we experimented with it. So what this means is that when we complete this knowledge in the sacred schools of learning is going to be available for the I am presences of every son and daughter of God. And consequently, we are creating a new octave of godhood. And they said, never again will a system of worlds fall to the depths that planet Earth has. So they have been working tirelessly for millions of years to help us, to wake us up, to transmute the psychic astral realm and the veil of Maya, to help Polaris and Magnus align our axis, to help us experience enough love and light on the planet that we, the mighty Elohim, would be able to lift the earth off of the wheel of karma and place us back on the spiral of evolution. Well, about 500 years ago, we were told through our I am presences that we were cosmically once again reaching that moment of the shift of the ages, which would mean that our solar system of Alpha and Omega would be moving from the fourth dimension into the fifth dimension. Well, the Earth was still struggling in the depths of the third dimension, and we hadn't been able to catch up. So we were given a myriad activities of light that brought us up to the final stages of this shift of the ages. And we were given a 25-year period of grace that was aligned with a completing cycle of the Mayan calendar that reflected in the outer world as what we've known of as harmonic convergence. And on harmonic convergence in August of 1987, the planet had finally reached a frequency of vibration that, with the influx of light from harmonic convergence, that in-breath that was preparing for the shift of the ages, we reached a frequency of light that empowered the mighty Elohim to lift us off of the wheel of karma and place us back on the spiral of evolution. Much of the psychic astral realm had been cleared in increments over all those years, but there was still this dense energy that was being created every day, just like it is now, with every single negative thought humanity experiences or expresses, that is adding to the psychic astral realm. So once we were lifted off of the wheel of karma and placed back on the spiral of evolution, which took place during harmonic convergence in August of 1987. The floodgates of heaven opened and higher frequencies of souls began embodying again. Many of them had been prevented from embodying because they were getting trapped on the wheel of karma. And our Father, Mother God wanted to hold them in abeyance in the central sun of Alpha and Omega until that trap was not a problem. We were told that there would be a 5-year period of assimilating this energy now that we were back on the spiral of evolution and these new souls were embodying on Earth. And then an activity of light would take place, which was referred to as ascending through the doorway of 1111. And for the first time, we were reflecting and understanding and told what the 1111 genetic and geometric codes within our DNA were. And 11 is a master number that reflects the transfiguration from the physical into the divine. And today is an 11-month and 11-11 day. And because of the numeric frequency of 2023, which makes it 11, this is an 11-11-11 frequency of light. But after harmonic convergence, for that 5 years, we assimilated that energy. Then we were guided, and this was a global activity of light, and many of you may have participated in it. Not everybody understood the whole magnitude because we were still vibrating at very dense frequencies. These shifts of this magnitude didn't happen quickly like they're happening now as we move into our solar reality. And the beginning of that activity of light began on July 11th, 1991, through a very powerful solar eclipse. Then it built in momentum until January 11th, 1992. And through that 6-month period, the Earth ascended onto the initial impulse of the 4th dimension. And we started receiving the 12 solar aspects of deity, the crown of the Elohim upon the I Am presence, on our I Am presence, which has 12 points, bringing in the 12 rays, the solar aspects of deity from the system of Alpha and Omega, began reflecting through our spinal column. And our spinal column is our axis of light. So that began allowing the frequencies of our solar spine to be activated, and Polaris and Magnus began the process of gently straightening the axis of our Earth. Since that activation, we've been through myriad activities of light, and you that are aware of us and have worked with us with Era of Peace have worked through decades of activities of light. And I want to stress that just like today, we are doing this activity of light for the 11-11-11 frequencies and portals that are being opened. There are literally thousands of other activities of light taking place on this planet. And thousands, millions, and billions of souls focusing on the light in one way or another. Even souls that are not totally awake yet are invoking the light of peace and the light of healing and the light of oneness and every other way they add to the light of the world. All of those people, whether they're consciously aware of this specific activity or not, are totally involved with sustaining and activating this process and this activity of light. So energies built in momentum, and we moved to the frequency until we reached the moment of the shift of the ages, which was this 25-year period, moving us to 1212 for the shift. And I know that a lot of people didn't think anything happened on that day because it wasn't so obvious in the outer world, but just instant manifestations of transforming all the negativity into light. It's not the way this works. We are multidimensional beings, and the shift is completed in the realms of cause. And then we draw it into the physical plane, and everything that conflicts to it is pushed to the surface, which is what we're seeing in the outer world, to be transmuted back into light. So then that light can be anchored and manifest physically. On December 21st and 22nd in 2012, Mother Earth aligned with the galactic core of the Milky Way. And during that cosmic moment, our Father, Mother God, inbreathed the whole of creation up the spiral of evolution to begin our ascent into the fifth dimension. And so when that occurred, when that activity of light occurred, we began a process of great acceleration. So all of this time, as many of you know, on 11/11, meaning November 11th, when that portal opened every year, because people could identify it more in that one cosmic moment of the November 11th portal. It was also empowered because of Veterans Day and all the prayers and light. And Veterans Day, as you know, was held on November 11th at during the 11th hour and has been celebrated ever since the 19, I think it was 16, when that was really activated at that moment. That the year I may be wrong on that. I need to check that, but it was 11/11 at 11 a.m. that took place, and there have been celebrations ever since then. We went through COVID and all of the different misinformation, disinformation. What the beings of light want us to focus on is the bigger picture of, regardless of how it was created and who it was created and why it was created, the end result was this planetary pause that caused everybody to stop doing what they were doing. At the beginning in January of 2020, the beings of light said, we are moving into a frequency of vibration that is allowing the company of heaven to intervene in our lives in a way that has never before been attempted, with the idea of greatly accelerating our ascension to catch up with the rest of our solar system. Our solar system has been waiting for us to catch up so that they can move forward. And so has the whole universe been focusing and waiting on planet Earth. And what took place on November 11th in 2021, after the planetary cause and still when the planetary pause was still manifesting, and the I am presence of everyone was able to communicate with them more clearly without all the clamor and discord manifesting in the outer world. We were instigating, through the awakening of humanity, a purging. We were guided by the company of heaven that we were in a place, we had reached a critical mass where we could draw forth the violet flame in ways we had never experienced before, and withstand the frequency of vibration of a 40-day and 40-night purging with the violet flame beyond anything the earth had ever experienced. And it began on November 11th, 2021, and built in momentum for 40 days until the solstice on December 20th and 21st in 2021. Then after that, myriad other activities of light have taken place. All kinds of things happened throughout 2022, and we've been talking and experiencing that. When we came to the 11/11 portal again on November 11th, in 2022. We were told that we had by then reached a frequency of vibration because of the purging and the other activities that were preparing us to take a quantum leap into the system of worlds beyond our great central sun. So just for a moment, I'm going to just explain the magnitude, and this is what's happening today. So this will help us understand. Helios and Vesta are our physical sun, and they have 12 planets. Alpha and Omega are our central sun, and they are responsible for 12 suns, and each sun has 12 planets. That particular galaxy is part of an even larger system. So we have Alpha and Omega, we have our 12 suns, our 144 planets. That's our central sun, and Alpha and Omega are our central sun. Alpha and Omega belong to a great central sun, and there are 11 additional systems identical to Alpha and Omega that belong to this great central sun. That great central sun, the solar logos, are known as Eloah and Eloah, and they are responsible for 12 systems of worlds, exactly like Alpha and Omega. Eloah and Eloah then consist of 12 central suns, 144 physical suns, and I have it written down here. Let me say, because I don't remember all this. I don't want to make a mistake on that. Okay, Eloah and Eloah are 12 central suns, 144 physical suns, and 1,728 planets. And that is another system of worlds. And Eloah and Eloah belong to a great central sun. And the solar logos of that are El and Allah. And there are 12 systems of worlds that belong to El and Allah that are exactly like the system of worlds of Eloah and Eloah. This is what is considered our galaxy. And just so that we'll be on the same page about this, our great central sun, El and Allah, consists of 144 great central suns like Eloah and Eloah, 1,728 central suns like Alpha and Omega, 20,136 physical suns like Helios and Vesta, and 269,568 planets, like all the planets in this system of worlds. That is what the beings of light said is considered our galaxy. So we have been working now for quite some time, step by step. We've been writing about it and talking about it through Era of Peace, and myriad activities of light are talking about the portals of the suns in Earth's lineage and the solar light codes that are flowing through the portals of the suns in Earth's lineage. And those portals include Helios and Vesta, Alpha and Omega, Eloah and Eloah, and El and Allah. This is considered our galaxy. And that's all we've been able to have access to, because beyond that was beyond the frequencies that we could withstand by our vibration. The reason I'm sharing this now, and it's important for us to just focus on this now, is because on 11/11, November 11th in 2022, last year, we reached a frequency of vibration that our Father, Mother God, and the company of heaven said would allow us to begin experiencing the frequency of light from the system of worlds beyond El and Allah, which we had never experienced before because we were vibrating. It would have vaporized us to receive that. But because of the purging and because of all the shifts that took place throughout 2021, we were able to reach that frequency of vibration in 2022. And the system of worlds beyond El and Allah were given permission from our Father, Mother God to allow beings of light from their system of worlds to enter the auras of the sons and daughters of God in embodiment on planet Earth. And each of those cosmic beings within our aura were given permission to help us raise our vibrations safely. And they were here for 40 days and 40 nights until December 21st and 22nd. And each one, because we're all individual and unique, each being of light worked with the I am presence of each of us uniquely in ways that allowed us to safely raise our frequency of vibration. And on the December solstice in 2022, the beings of light were able to consecrate our earthly bodies to begin receiving this light from the system beyond El and Allah. Then we moved into the full momentum of 2023, and myriad activities of light have taken place. But one of the most significant that helped us take a quantum shift up so we could catch up with the rest of the system of Alpha and Omega in our solar system was that during the Equinox series that took place in May, on May 5th, which was also the Wesak festival, there was a solar eclipse, a full moon eclipse that allowed us to move Mother Earth and all her life to take a quantum leap into the frequencies of our solar reality. This was a tremendous shift from Polaris and Magnus and the axis of the Earth, and it was assisting in aligning humanity's physical solar axis in our fifth dimensional solar spine with this light from the axis of the Earth. And humanity began realizing and sensing this energy, understanding through their I am presence that this solar light is actually the finger of God Almighty pointing to planet Earth, saying, "Here I am." This light increased in momentum through our solar activity. There was a tremendous shift through the Lion's Gate, which takes place on August 8th. And then during the 37th Annual World Congress on Illumination, the meditation to align the axis of Polaris and Magnus with all of the systems of worlds in the solar legions and legacy of Mother Earth, to align those frequencies in preparation for the activity of light that is taking place today. That activity of light and that meditation began preparing us to move up in vibration to this 11-11-11 day. So what is taking place now is that with this activation that we are going to have with this meditation on this day and all of the light that's being added to the world, the legions of light throughout infinity are focusing on this planet. This shift that is taking place today is allowing Mother Earth, who is the only planet in this galaxy we're talking about, that was vibrating still in a third dimensional frequency. In 1991 and 92, that moving through the doorway of 1111, we moved under the initial impulse of the fourth dimension. We even since then have moved into the initial impulse of the fifth dimension. And now we are aligned in the new solar reality, which is the frequency of the new earth. And these energies have been allowed step by step because of the outer world activity of light that humanity has brought to this world. So today, as we listen to this meditation, which we will in a minute, we will receive the activation, the alignment of our fifth dimensional solar spines, every man, woman, and child on earth, aligning with the higher rarefied frequencies of the veil of Maya that are literally gossamer at this time, even though these things look so horrific in the outer world. And the reason that they're gossamer is because of the influx of light. The beings of light want us to understand those wreaking havoc in the outer world are releasing a minuscule fraction of the negativity compared to the influx of light being invoked by the masses of humanity through our solar spines and our invocations of peace and expressions of love. No matter what our outer world awakening status is, our I am presence is awake. And so the veil of Maya around the earth has become gossamer, so that as we do this activity of light today, Polaris and Magnus are aligning our solar spines, the solar spine with Mother Earth, with the solar spines of Alpha and Omega and all of the other beings of light and solar spines in our system of worlds. The solar spine of Eloi and Eloi and that entire system of worlds. The solar spine with El and Allah and all of those in that system of worlds, which is our complete galaxy. And then our galaxy is being aligned with what is referred to as the grand central sun in the system of worlds beyond Alpha, beyond El and Allah. There are 12 systems, just like Eloi and Eloah, in the force field of the solar logos of the grand central sun. The names we have been given for those solar logos, the masculine polarity of God is Sanat, and the feminine polarity of God is Luz. And the beings of light have expressed that their frequencies and their names are actually cosmic tones that don't translate into our verbal language, but that these two names, Sanat and Luz, reflect the frequency of the energies that they are sustaining for us. And those names for our grand central sun that reflect our galaxy and 11 other galaxies exactly like ours. Sanat reflects the Sanskrit word eternal, and Luz reflects the Sanskrit word of brings light. So they're reflecting to us that these beings of light are reflecting to us eternal light that they are bringing to us. So when we have the meditation, which we are going to have now, I want you to understand that all we have to do is listen to our I am presence, align with our solar axis, the finger of God Almighty radiating through our spine, knowing it is aligning with the axis of Mother Earth, the axis of Helios and Vesta, the axis of Alpha and Omega and all the systems of worlds in Alpha and Omega, the axis of Eloi and Eloah and all those systems of worlds, the axis of El and Allah and all those systems of worlds. And for the very first time, we are being breathed into the embrace of the grand central sun of Sanat and Luz. Now, the mighty Elohim are part of this. They have activated and will intensify the 12-pointed crown and the 12 solar aspects of deity through our spine, bringing this light. I want you to know Adi, and I think she's probably shared that with a lot of you, who is co-anchoring and sponsoring this activity of light, is in Gibraltar, and which is in the south of Spain. And she has gone there to be in the cave of Archangel Michael in Gibraltar, which is a famous cave aligning with the purification of Archangel Michael, which is assisting with even purifying into more rarefied energies this veil of Maya and straightening the axis of the earth. So we're going to have this meditation, and Adi has sent us a short video of the light flowing in and her experience this morning in the cave of Archangel Michael in Gibraltar. She's tuning in with us and with us now, as are all of you and light workers around the world and every other light worker on this planet that is in any way focusing on the 1111 activation are weaving their light into this activity of light, as well as every prayer for peace, every expression of love, every frequency of music and harmony and balance that are aligned with a light in the music of the spheres are participating in this activity. So for the very first time, we are being breathed into the full embrace of Sanat and Luz, the system of worlds of our grand central sun. What the beings of light want us to understand is that this universe of planets and beings have been waiting patiently since we fell off the spiral of evolution and fell from grace because of the compassionate and loving act of taking on the laggard souls. No one was willing to give up on us, and they've been waiting, helping us, sustaining it for this cosmic moment. So as far as the outer world goes, what this means is that we are moving into far more rarefied frequencies of light that are going to be transcending the discord in ways that we will be eventually completing the purging of the misqualified energy that's being released and we're experiencing right now. And we will be moving a quantum leap into that frequency of the higher earth. So I'm going to now ask Ricky if he would play for us the video, and for all of us just to focus on this beautiful, exquisite video comprising the artwork. This meditation was given at the World Congress by Dominique Germain, who is a dear friend of mine that has been working with the axis of the earth for decades. And this, her meditation, has been transfigured into this beautiful video with the artwork of Daniel Holdman. I should say the celestial artwork of Daniel Holdman. So watch and experience this video and allow yourself to just be that open door for the alignment of suns beyond suns beyond suns, with the mighty finger of God pointing to planet Earth that is now being brought into perfect alignment with Polaris and Magnus, the cosmic beings who have been trying to assist us to reach this frequency since the initial impulse of our fall from grace. And we begin.
The immaculate concept of the axis of the earth. We take a deep breath. We inhale deeply and exhale slowly. Every breath is our Father, Mother, God in action. We breathe again, and with an open heart, we offer our love to our I Am Presence and the I Am Presence of every man, woman, and child on earth. We feel love and its infinite splendor. United in our presence, we offer ourselves as a cup, a holy grail, in order to accomplish victoriously the divine plan. The presences envelop all of us with great care. Our four bodies, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, are relaxed and united, expressing the perfection of who we are. This unique moment is the grace. Our elemental beings, devas, sylphs, salamanders, undines, and gnomes are filled with joy. We feel totally surrounded by love and wisdom, deeply connected to our presence, I Am, and the I Am Presence of all humanity. We are ready to participate in the great divine plan orchestrated since thousands and thousands of years ago. In the name of our mighty and resplendent divine presence, I Am, we invoke Archangel Michael, Lady Faith, and their legions of angels. The sapphire blue light sparkles all around us and expands all over the planet. We invoke the directors of the 5 elements who take their strategic positions north, east, south, west, and in the center of the earth. We now invoke Polaris and Magnus, who stand blazing as suns at the north and south poles. We invoke Sanat Kumara and Lord Gautama, who take their position above the earth. We invoke the solar logos and all the beings of light abiding in the realms of eternal perfection. We welcome these glorious beings of light, and we send them our deepest gratitude. We contemplate this wonderful circle of light they form in the atmosphere of Earth. We greet them, and they do the same. One with all divine life, we create a wonderful chalice of light. As one breath, the majestic Polaris and Magnus stand ready. From their hearts, a magnificent beam of bright light embraces the entire planet. In tune with the heartbeat of all life, they breathe into the axis of the earth a powerful shaft of light. The prodigious rays projected by Polaris and Magnus meet at the center of the earth. Instantly, they unite, forming a powerful sphere of light. This sphere of light becomes bigger and bigger and envelops the entire planet and expands even further. In the core of the earth, her threefold flame shines as a sun. The threefold flame of the planet is resplendent, and its trillions of particles are spreading to the surface, igniting the threefold flame of every man, woman, and child. All the archangels and Mother Mary join us in this merciful activity of light. All the beings of light blaze into the axis of the planet and into all life the splendor of the 12 attributes of our Father, Mother God. The 12 rays of light twirl in the earth, around the earth, into the elemental kingdom, into the angelic kingdom, into humanity, and around every atom and electron forming the planet. Above the earth, the crown of the 12 Elohim is activated, glowing as never before. Above the head of every man, woman, and child, the crown of the Elohim becomes shining in all its glory. Its radiation magnifies the beauty of the solar spine, allowing the solar chakras to blaze at an accelerated speed, straightening the axis of the earth. In this very special instant, the solar spine of every man, woman, and child is being aligned with the axis of the earth, the axis of the galaxy, and the axis of our Father, Mother God. Polaris and Magnus hold the planet in their hands. Their heart is one with the heart of all life. The sound of the divine heartbeat echoes in the universe, and all the kingdom of heaven chant the symphony of victory. The planet is experiencing divine fireworks whose source is the great axis of the divine cosmos. An infinite flow of shimmering light escapes from the center up to the north and down to the south, turning the earth into a magnificent star. Then Polaris and Magnus declare, "Our beloved ones, we have been waiting for this moment for millennia. We rejoice today as never before. We rejoice because now you are aware of our dedicated presence. We rejoice because here and now you know deeply the work we are doing to maintain the earth in her perfect orbit. We rejoice because now you understand how our precious ray of light allows our dear planet to be a part of the divine creation. We rejoice because the axis is shifting back to its perfect place. We rejoice because the adjustment of the axis will help you to become one with your divine self and one with the divine self of all life. We rejoice because your own solar spine is being restored into its original perfection. We rejoice because from now on, the veil of Maya can be dissolved forever. We rejoice because as we come closer to you, you will be able to hear clearly or feel our presence, consolidating your solar spine and comforting each one of you. We rejoice because today the elemental kingdom can manifest again the splendor it was supposed to create on the surface of the earth. We rejoice because your deep desire to grow and ascend has led all of us to a new place where all beings are aligned in one breath and where enchantment is the order of the new day. We have long held for each of you the vision of this divine plan. This unprecedented accomplishment will stimulate so many facets of yourself, reconnecting you to your immense divine abilities. More than ever before, you are ready to fulfill perfectly your divine mission and the divine plan for all. Today, we invite you to call upon us often. Our answer will be instantaneous, and together we will perpetuate the grace that has been taking place for decades and again today. We invite you to our flamboyant temples located at the North and the South Poles. There, you will contemplate our work and your work. You will be overwhelmed by the greatness of every expression of life. As one brotherhood and sisterhood, and by the power of one heartbeat, we will strengthen and strengthen again and again the axis of the earth and the axis of every man, woman, and child on the planet. Doing so, all beings will have the possibility to soar and become a pillar of love and light for all life. Can you feel this immense privilege? Can you see or feel the healing that is taking place? We confirm to you that this healing will restore the perfect DNA of every life form on Earth. And as the DNA is recalibrated, all the information bundled within can come to your awareness and help you to see with new eyes and progress with new abilities. Remember, thousands upon thousands of years ago, you stood in your infinite resplendence. The time has come for humanity to stand straight again in complete harmony with the axis of all planets, galaxies, and suns. The time has come for humanity to stand straight again in complete harmony with the axis of all planets, galaxies, and suns. The time has come for humanity to stand straight again in complete harmony with the axis of all planets, galaxies, and suns. We promise you that by the straightening of the axis of the earth and your own axis, you and all the beings of all worlds will feel a significant shift in your bodies and in your daily lives. We are your guardians in this unique adventure. What a glorious moment. Thank you. The vision is breathtaking, and we contemplate the supremacy of this moment. The straightening and strengthening of the axis allows the planet to evolve in a new octave of liberty and perfection. The light is so dazzling that it sublimates our hearts, our minds, and our bodies. As we absorb these high-quality vibrations, we feel the divine unity that transcends all separation. We can hear the music coming out from the center of the earth and from the axis itself. Exquisite fragrances envelop all life. The dazzling radiation coming out from the axis is pure beauty. The comprehensive divine love of our Father, Mother, God takes command and orchestrates with the I Am presence a symphony of glory that echoes into all particles of life and throughout the entire universe. Saint Germain and Lady Portia stand in the core of this activity, and through their open hearts, a bright stream of violet flame from suns beyond suns pours into every corner of the earth, transmuting all the residue of impurity still remaining on the planet. We become a magnet of love, a magnet of the divine perfection of our Father, Mother, God. The divine attributes of the Almighty are pouring into our solar spine as an eternal cascade of light. As we integrate these virtues, we become pillars of light, one with the perfect axis of all things. We gaze in wonder at our mighty divinity, admiring our immaculate concept and the immaculate concept of all life. Marvelous paths of light are presented to humanity, and we declare, I am my I Am presence, and I am one with all life. I am pure light, a precious child of our Father, Mother, God. I am my perfect axis in total harmony with suns beyond suns. I am the immaculate concept of my divine reality, a great co-creator who manifests the kingdom of heaven on earth. I am powerful and victorious in the light of God. Perfection blossoms everywhere and around all life as all hearts are aligned with all creation. We are one with the axis of all life. From now on, we declare, our pure and elevated thoughts will create worlds of happiness. Our lips will only express soft, enlightened, and uplifting words. Our ears will open to the music of the celestial spheres and to words of love. Our nostrils will welcome with gratitude the precious and vital air. Our sweet gazes, full of reverence, will transfigure all that they encounter. Our bodies will express elegance, majesty, and eternal youth. We rise with grace, and in our elevation, millions of souls rise with us. This divine alchemy is occurring in every man, woman, millennial, and child. The divine alchemy is occurring in the very Earth itself. This moment is a miracle. The Earth's axis is shining as never before. Humanity integrates and manifests even more the joy and the grace of the fifth dimension. We give thanks to our beloved Polaris and Magnus. We give thanks to all beings of light. We give thanks to our divine presence, I am. In a state of bliss, we know that this divine plan is perfectly accomplished as God's most holy name, I am. In one voice, we declare, I am that I am. I am my divine presence, which I infinitely love.
And so it is. Precious heart, now to seal this activity of light, our beloved Adi was able to go to the cave of Archangel Michael in Gibraltar. And she spent 2 hours there, and she did the planetary activation at 11:11 a.m. She filmed a beautiful 2-minute video that shows the light and experience in this cave. And we'll play that video as we seal and complete this activity of light. Thank you for being born, for listening to your heart, for remembering who you are, and for the incredible light you are adding to the world. God bless you.